You mentioned moving on to WWE, and that's something that you wanted to do and you succeeded and excelled in as well. What was your experience like in the WWE? Because the organization that you joined, in terms of the management and who was at the helm of that company, it's very different to the WWE that we see today.
Yeah, I was in the WWE during the death throes of Vince McMahon's reign, and I think it was probably the worst absolute timing for me to come in. But we did the best we could with what we had. But definitely, the women in the locker room and the relationships that I got to form there, and the friendships and experiences that we got to share, making chicken chin and chicken salad together. We were bonded by trauma. And it
Yeah.
really brought us so closely together in a way that like fighting never really could when you guys are competing against each other. You're always each other's adversaries, and in WWE we were each other's partners, and it always felt like we were in it together. It was us against the machine. And it would be nicer if they put the machine behind us instead of in front of us to have to fight. But that is an industry unlike MMA that is very entrenched in misogynistic tradition, and it takes a lot more effort to change that around, especially when things have been done the way they've always been done, as opposed to MMA when it was everyone was still kind of figuring it out. I think it was much easier for women to reach a status which I consider to be full equality much quicker.
And you said bonded by trauma. That struck a nerve or struck a chord with me. Did it feel traumatic sometimes backstage when you were working at WWE?
I mean, by bonded by trauma, I just mean that sometimes it was just such a shit show.
Yeah.
And the match is getting changed over and over and over. You have no opportunity to rehearse it. The promos are getting changed over and over and over. I remember the first time I had to do a match on the fly without practicing it was with the Natty Neidhart, and they were doing a double show so people could go home for Christmas. And she had me face down in a cement hallway trying to show me how to reverse a sharpshooter. But people literally stepping over us and everything like that. And when we were about to go out, and I was crying because I didn't have the match down, And she's like, we'll just call it out there. And I'm like, I don't want to call it out there. I'm not going to. I'm going to make a fool out of myself. And then Jinder Mahal comes up. He's like, Ronda, you're going to be okay. You're going to be great. And Daddy's like, shut up, Jinder. Okay, so next after the head armor, she's trying to run. She's like, stop trying to make her feel better. I'm trying to get her to remember the match. So I was literally crying tears during the match, but we made it into the storyline that we were best friends, and she was trying to beat me, and I was so emotionally torn over this experience that it was making me cry. But I was actually crying because I didn't know what was going on, and it ended up being a great match. It would have been a much better match if we were able to rehearse it, but we came out of that, and Daddy was like, we just delivered a baby live on television.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I call bonded by trauma. And she's like, remember that one time when we delivered a baby on television? I'm like, yes, I do.
It's understandable how those situations will bond you forever, and you hear about the camaraderie in the WWE dressing room, because it's unlike MMA where you are competing against people, you are working together with your colleagues at WWE trying to put on the best show possible. So I can understand why you would have been bonded with your fellow wrestlers. Your thoughts on WrestleMania this year? Obviously, The Rock's returned, one of the biggest stars in WWE. He's done it the other way around in terms of crossing over from WWE into other fields. Can you just give me your thoughts on The Rock returning and how impactful that's been on wrestling so far?
Honestly, I haven't watched a minute of wrestling since I left because I have a 2-year-old who is making me watch Ponyo on repeat.
Ponyo's great. Ponyo's great.
He wakes out of bed and goes, Anyo. So, yeah, we watch a lot of Studio Ghibli and stuff like that. And Totoro, she really likes Totoro, but I'm just, doing the mom thing and with my farm. I don't spend any, free time watching judo. I don't, watch MMA unless Trav has there's usually heavyweight cards he likes to watch and put them on TV. But yeah, well, we don't really watch it at all. We're kind of whatever Poe wants to watch is what's on.
The boss. In terms of Studio Ghibli, I absolutely love Howl's Moving Castle. I think that's my favorite.
Oh my God! I actually just listened to the novel. I've seen it so many times, and it was a novel by Diana Wynne Jones. I was like, oh my God! I remember. It's so different, actually, and I was never so impressed with Hayao Miyazaki on an adaptation and how he like combined different things and streamlined it into like a screenplay format. And I mean, the book is great, but I was really, really impressed with how Miyazaki handled Howl's Moving Castle. And yeah, it's incredible. I'll go on about it for days. So let's not even talk about Spirited Away. We don't even want to go there.
That gets deep. When you start talking about Spirited Away, it gets deep. And I've only got you for a limited amount of time, so I've got to move swiftly on.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.